Hey everybody, what is up? Comic Cowboy here. And guess what? You're all a super smart audience. And because of that, I'm changing a little bit of the material that I'm going to present to you on this channel. I'm just going to show some books for a while. I think the folks that watch this channel, just based on the comments I'm reading, you're super knowledgeable. In a lot of cases, I'm learning from you, and hopefully vice versa. It's an open dialogue. I don't think I need to get on this channel and talk about spec or talk about the collectibles industry at large or talk about particular categories that are hot or cold or investment strategies. I think there's just too much of that stuff on YouTube right now, and it's a little cluttered with content. But you know what we're going to do on this channel that the other folks are not doing? We've got the books. To be honest with you, we have got the books. I'm going to show you the books. That's what this channel is all about. This is really the thinking person's channel for golden age and silver age comic books. It's not spec driven. It's not hype driven. All it is the love of comics from 1937 until today, the whole spectrum. And we're just going to look at books together for a while. I just pulled a bunch of books out of boxes totally randomly. I'll speak a little bit about these books. And, leave some comments if you've got copies of these books yourself, or you collect them, or if you think they're cool. That's what this is about. It's sort of like a bit of a caviar channel for golden age and silver age comics, bronze, given it's somewhat niche. And I think that's a good focus. There's just too many voices out there telling you what to buy and how to buy. And this is a speculative bubble, and that isn't. And this market is mature, and this market isn't. And this category is being manipulated by investors, and this one is filled with yahoos. You know what? Too much. I don't give a damn. I've just heard too much. And no one's got the books. If you don't got the book in your hand, I think it's all opinion. And this is not an opinion show. It's a celebration show, celebration of comic books. That's why I'm here. I hope that's why you're here too. So we're going to look at some books together randomly. I just went to the long boxes and I just pulled out some slabs of stuff that I thought was really cool. I'm going to start off with one right here. We're just going to look at books together. So, you know what? Pour yourself a beer, a glass of wine, some bourbon, whiskey, water, whatever your poison is. Don't matter. All good. Time of day doesn't matter. Feel comfortable. Let's look at some books, and we'll continue to do it. I got a lot of comics here, and hopefully you do too. So share what you got in the comments, like and subscribe too, please. All right, Brick Bradford here. I don't collect a lot of sci-fi, but how cool is this cover? Robot cover. It should be classic cover, CGC, but it's not identified as such. Definitely the Brick Bradford book to collect. The rest of the stuff is mostly space fantasy genre stuff, not that interesting. You could just tell this is a random pull of books because I've got a New Mutants 98 here, first Deadpool. I picked this book up maybe 6 or 7 months ago, and it's continued to go up. I mean, I love Deadpool. I think this is a hero and a guy that's just going to be around for years and years. The book's a little expensive right now, so maybe you don't pick it up. Check this next book out. I feel like there should be a drum roll, but I've got a Promise Collection book here in my hands. And I went into that auction with high hopes, big aspirations that I would get several of these Promise Collection books, Promise Pedigree. If you've seen on Heritage and you've read all the stories, all the hype, I don't need to go into that. The books are beautiful in hand. They're gorgeous. And it's a really nice story. I was just outbid on everything, wildly outbid. And I thought, oh, wow, I'm not going to get any of these books. Right towards the last 30 minutes of the auction, I went after a couple books kind of hard because I go, you know what, this moment may pass. I want one of these books in my collection. Check this one out. This one's a real dandy. It is USA Comics 10 from 1943, the Promise Collection, Timely Comics, white pages, right? You only get that really with the church books. There it is. What a fantastic book in hand. I'm just going to hold it up there so you could look at the colors. I mean, a 9.0 on a book like this, a Timely from 43, just impossible. You just don't see it often at all. It's just a beautiful, beautiful copy in hand. And there's just, let's look at the artwork. It's Sham. You can do no wrong there. Cap there. So fantastic. What a great depiction. And because of the association with the story of this pedigree, I believe it was the Korean War. I think a war cover in particular is a really nice one to have. I like these books anyway. And I was really happy to take it home. The only Promise book I have in this entire collection. And I know there's been some more that come up on the block this past week. Past Sunday, Heritage had a few. Here's a pickup I got recently. Again, there's no rhyme and reason, folks, into what I'm showing you here. These are just books that I personally collect, like, and feel that there's some investment value to them as well, of course. Spidey 41, first appearance of the Rhino. I guess you could say this is a spec book because Rhino may show up in some of the new films that are coming up in the MCU, particularly Spidey. But who knows? It's a cool book anyway. It's not that expensive in mid-grade. I've shown a lot of these books before. Mystery Men comics. This is a good one. This is 31 from 1942. Wow, white pages. Did not notice that. Very hard to get that kind of page quality with these old books. Hey, folks, sorry about the glare. There's a little bit of that on camera, but I think you can see it's a great book. If you collect Fox, Mystery Men comics, followed by Blue Beetle is the most difficult material to obtain and also the most collectible. And here's another pull of that. Here's a Blue Beetle 29 for 44, off-white pages, bondage cover, and it's the Beetle himself. This is a Nazi war cover. That is the bondage depiction, were that a woman in distress, the book would be worth about 4x what it is or more. Even so, cool book, really hard to get in 7.0. You just don't see these books in that kind of condition often whatsoever. And again, this is just, you can tell my comics are just in a wide assortment because what I'm pulling out of this long box is just a bunch of random stuff that's cool. And here's Daredevil 1 in 4/5. What a cool book. And it's got the old CGC label. I guess the CGC, that is the label, I think potentially the first label that they utilize, old label goodness. I don't know why, but collectors really do prefer, if you find equal books in grade, an older label like this. I don't know if that means the standards were any different than they are today. I doubt it, but also it's quite likely that these books were not pressed as frequently as they are today. I mean, for 4/5, I mean, look at the covers. I mean, the colors on this book, absolutely fantastic. That book, Sword, it was a book that, if you know that book, it's been pretty crickets for years, almost like Sergeant Fury 1. A book that just sat there and really didn't move in price whatsoever. It was a soft book. And then it just took off significantly with rumors and talk about Daredevil showing up in the MCU. Will it happen? I don't know. Cool book. I love it. I love that old label. Firing through this pile here. We're just looking at books, friends. I hope you're at home having a bourbon or a soda, whatever your fancy is. Put in the comments, relax. This is the kind of television you can't find on the network. And if you're on YouTube, I don't think there's a lot of this kind of content out there where people are just kind of going through their collection. And I'm not selling it. It's just material that I've collected. Here's a Cap 7, creamed off white. Oh, this is interesting. So in the label, I'll show you the book in a second. It says tape on cover, Best wishes, Jack Kirby, written on first page in marker. Okay. It's been signed by Kirby, right? CGC won't acknowledge that on the label. They won't give you a SIG, the yellow label, unless they've had the CGC witnesses and it goes through their process. So a lot of these older books were signed by the original artists. and they still will command quite a bit more for astute collectors that notice that. But the fact, Best Wishes, Jack Kirby on the first page of this book, that is not something that is counterfeited. I've never opened the slab to actually look. Cool book, so cool. Moving through, oh, this is a good book. This is one you don't see that often. It's Weird Tales of the Future. Here, 1953. This has always been a really popular book. Usually grabbed up very quickly if it's offered and at quite a good price. It's a fantastic cover. Really one of the best in the Weird Tales of the Future line. I'm so glad I got that book. I got off the CGC boards quite a while ago. And recently I've not seen anything quite that spectacular. And if it's there, it's at quite a price and someone's going to snatch it up. I'm moving through some caps here. This is a good one. 2.5 off-white pages, 1944. This is a really nice showing 2.5. You know what they say, buy the book, not the grade. Look at this dramatic sham cover here. Usually when the book looks this nice in lower grade, it could mean cover detached. Not the case here. It's just a little bit of a distressed book and gets the lower grade. It's great. I'm all over the place. I collect a lot of different genres, a lot of different eras, a lot of different types of heroes and books, keys, covers, first appearances, minor characters, you name it. And here's one that doesn't necessarily fit in my collection. It's a She-Hulk 198, but guess what? Rocky Mountain pedigree. How cool. So if you can, and if you're going to buy these, sort of more modern books, whether it's bronze, copper, or books of today, if you can get them in a pedigree or a collection, do so, because there's so many copies of this in 9.8. There are very few copies that have an association with a particular collection or pedigree. And so I had a chance to pick this one up recently. It's got the cool pedigree grade, and I was stoked. I mean, if I'm going to have a copy of She-Hulk 1, I'll get something special like this. Here's a book that's been en fuego lately. It's Hawkman 4, white pages, 1964, first appearance and origin of Satana. And this is great. Really cool book. It's always been a key, but recently the prices have gone up and up and up. I think I got one in even higher grade somewhere here. I think like a 9.0. Zatanna is freaking cool. And she will absolutely appear in DC movies in the near or distant future. Maybe it is through Justice League Dark, where she's a member of that. That will likely go into production and be a film. She is just a kick-ass character, one of the best in the stable of DC. And the books of the last 10 years with Zatanna are just like awesome. Like the contemporary books are not worth a damn, but they're great. The covers are cool. And they're always kind of sexy. There's some sort of S&M elements to some of the covers that are like, wow, what's going on there? But it's kind of fascinating. What a cool character. And first appearance in this Hawkman 4 is a great book to pick up. I still think it's got a lot of upside, even today in this market. We've got a lot of Mystery Men books. I think I've shown a lot of these before. These are just really, really tough to come by. They are rare. In high grade, they're impossible. Mid grade, such as that example right there, unrestored. Really nice to find. Here's a fun book. K.D. Keane 62. The last issues, the Forbidden Planet homage cover. Here's a book that really doesn't get, sorry about the glare, the love that it deserves. This is similar to Archie 50, which has gone up in quite a bit of value. It's just really awesome. And K.D. Keane is a cool character. I like K.D. Keane. I collect these books. They're not that expensive. This one is, I think it's the best one in the whole line. And here it is in 6.5. Just what a cool depiction. What a great cover and an awesome book. Glad I've got that one. Got a couple more for you. And here we've got a Subby from 1945, issue 18, right here. So 1945. There you go. Cool book. 7.0. That's nice shape, actually. Off-white pages. Very cool. These are relatively affordable compared to the war covers. So by 1945, Submariner was on the wane. So it was Marvel Mystery Comics. They shifted from, the war covers, with be it, Subby or Torch fighting the Nazis or the Japanese, to fighting criminals and gangsters until it finally receded out in the late 1940s, and things did not really come back to life into the early 1960s. So these books are really hard to come by, actually, these books from the mid to late 1940s. It's just the covers are not as dramatic and exciting when they're just fighting what looks like random criminals. You'd think they get their, they just give a whooping to that type of foe, and I'm sure they did. Maybe one more book here for y'all. Oh, this is a good one. 5.5. White pages. Wow. I guess I was doing something right buying some of these copies. This is Mystery Men Comics 1931, and it's a great cover. It's got a lot going on for it. Here, let's take a look. So it's got a lot of attributes here that people would really like. Let me pull it back, maybe get a better look at the book here. It's got the bondage down there. Lady in the red dress. People do care about the color of the dress. This is a red dress cover. And then there's another figure down here. I don't know what she's doing down there with that kind of interesting outfit. And dramatically up above, you've got the Blue Beetle with his domino mask just flying around. What a fantastic cover. Who's the artist? Ramona Patenaude cover. That was a woman working in comics in the early 1940s, which is rare. Frankly, that's why I'm calling it out. Very cool, great book. Something like this, I just probably will not sell ever. It would sell very rapidly. There's people that are really fanatical about these books, and it's just going to hold its value. Really, it'll hold its value over time. That's it. That was a pretty good sampling of books. Hope you liked it. This is kind of the vibe for a little bit. I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to show you guys some really cool books I've got in the collection. Every once in a while, I'll introduce a topic. I hope you enjoyed it. And write in the comments, do you have any of these books? What do you collect? What are you interested in? What are you picking up? Just share below. And if you're not a subscriber, do so. I'll try to get more content out there for you. I've got a lot of books to look through. And we'll get to it. Thanks. Have a good one.